Good evening, SRA Nation, and welcome to season number 15. Round number 1, we are back for the summer. We have got one heck of a season coming our way. All eyes will go to the gantry light. Green flag drops and we are racing. That's going to be a very, very good stop.
He's going to edge him.
We've got two generations of Ferraris going side by side.
Goes to the outside. Very late break to the outside.
What is going to happen?
What is happening?
Trying to hold on to it. Free abreast for a square.
Alexis looking racy.
He's gonna hold him tight. Oh my god.
And we're off and away for SRA.
Oh, we made it. Oh, Donovan, we're here. A little bit early this time, aren't we? Welcome back, SRA. This week we are obviously round 5. I'm your host, Anton Rushvich, joined by Donovan Colton. I'm a little bit on my tippy toes, a little bit nerves kind of like going through the system. I am currently experiencing some internet problems, but hopefully they will not affect us. Anyway, welcome back, boys and girls, to SRA's season 16 showcasing Division 2 this week. Again, joined by Donovan. How are we doing, Donovan?
Doing good. Hoping the internet stays smooth for us tonight. But yeah, excited for a race tonight at one of my favorite tracks.
And that track, my friends, is Mount Panorama, also known as Bathurst, also known as Death City. Not actually, but I'm hoping that's not
Mountain.
Death Mountain. Actually, yeah, it's true. I'm hoping that's not going to be the case tonight. But we have Mount Panorama, one of either the most beloved circuits in ACC by a lot of drivers across the world, or one of the most hated circuits. Personally, myself, I'm a little bit biased as I wasn't able to race last night, so I'm not a huge fan of it right now, but it is fun to hot lap. Racing, not so much. It's obviously exhilarating to follow cars, down the mountain, but it's also just as scary. So, yeah, it's going to be a cracking race. We got, obviously, Mount Panorama, one of the longer tracks on the calendar. It's about 6.2 kilometers in length, or 3.8.5 miles for all you Freedom Unit users. Obviously located in Australia, so we were heading to the upside down, right? Or like the
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Upside down. Okay.
Yeah.
I had Stranger Things in my mind, so I was thinking upside down, like back now. Actually, season 5 is coming out soon. Anyway, back to racing. I'm going off a little bit of tangent. Here we actually have some corners that are in English, so we can pronounce them. Turn 1. In my opinion, top 3 hardest corner on the track. You're thinking, Anton, it's 90-degree corner. It's slow. Why is it difficult? Well, let me tell you, it's called Hell Corner for a reason, people. This corner sets up the entire mountain straight. If you don't get a good exit, you're going to lose heaps of time. And heading into turn 2, Quarry Bend, also another difficult corner on the track. Is it more difficult than 1? It really depends on the car you're driving, I think. It's definitely not easy, I think, but it's if you can get the braking right, you'll have a dandy time. Heading into turn 3 and 4, also known as the cutting. It's going to be a difficult section for these drivers, especially on lap 1. It's going to be very slow, hoping for not as many checkups as lap 1 does get slow falling cars side by side here. So the cutting is going to be a corner to look out for. We also have turn 5 and 6, which is the uphill. Very easy to lose traction here on the uphill. There's a curb on the inside, on the right side, that some cars simply cannot take. That's also known as Griffin's Mountain Reed Park. Heading into turn 7 and 8, that is called Sulman's Park, and heading into the famous turn 9 and 10, McPhilmy Park. Super fast corner. You got to be on it. You got to be, keeping it tight to the wall, making sure you're not lifting too much, not losing too much time. Heading into Skyline, a very dangerous and tricky part of the circuit. A lot of cars are going to be carrying a lot of speed down the hill, heading into the S's and the Dipper between turns 13 and 17, and one of the other hardest corners on the track. Seems like this, a lot of these corners are difficult, aren't they? But heading into Forest Elbow, also known as Bentley Corner, as I like to call it, or as I like to call it, Hell Corner number 2, leading on to the Conrad Straight, which is one of the longer straights on the calendar, apart from Paul Ricard. We are not racing at this season, but you can see cars reaching top speeds of up to 283 kilometers an hour. We see the likes of the Ferrari 296, with the help of the downhill, be able to reach really high speeds. We're going to be keeping an eye on the speed traps heading into Chase Corner through 21 and 22. Very difficult complex to get right, especially on the braking. One thing to keep note of is that the braking markers can disappear if there are accidents heading into Chase Corners. So if those are gone, then these drivers are going to have to figure out another reference for themselves, because it's going to be difficult to follow cars heading into that zone. And the last corner, Murray's Corner, turn 23, right between the pit exit. And yeah, it's going to be definitely something to watch, Donovan. I mean, it's a long track. It's got a lot of corners. It's going to be tough.
Yeah. There's a lot of places where you could make mistakes, and a lot of places that you could take advantage of others making mistakes. So
Absolutely.
yeah, going towards the standings, we have different standings technically than what we're seeing on screen right now. This is showing just one drop race where because of those issues that we had with the servers at Coda, we're having 2 drop races this season. So technically right now Amos Movo is leading the championship with 213 points. Then we got Brian Anderson and Paul Hartman following close behind. So yeah, a little bit of a shakeup, because I think also Matthew Higgs is in 4th, where on this it's showing he's 9th. So things change a lot, when we have more drop races. And then we got the 2 Nissan drivers, Thomas Olhausen and Philippinas Mueller, Jack Krause, Mason Moffitt, Selena Boonstra, and Harold McDonald rounding out the top 10 with the 2 drop races. Going over to the silver drivers, I think our silver leader right now is Dick Zipperburn Jr. And it's very tight, as it usually is in the silver championship. And with Zipperburn, I mean, he's had quite a few quiet races, but a lot of consistent finishes, and that really matters for the D2. I mean, that matters for any championship, but that really matters for the D2 one, where usually you're battling for slightly lower points totals, at the end of the race. But yeah, so also, let me see. We also got, I don't know if we're going to see him driving tonight.
We are.
We had
We
Douglas.
are.
Oh, we are. Are we?
Oh, we are.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, we had Douglas Mitchell. He technically joined D2 last race, but he did not show up. But this time he is showing up, and he's in the Lexus, which is a great car for this track, in my humble opinion. Great race car. I've actually battled Doug while he was in the Lexus and I was in the Ford. But in the past in D2, and so yeah, it's he'll be one to look out for sure.
No bias there at all. And yeah, you mentioned the silver standings. I think a lot of it also has to do with, last week we saw Ethan Marvin and Pat Cockcroft fighting for I think both in the top 10, and Ethan had a few mistakes, maybe some collisions with other drivers on track, but it just goes to show that this championship, though it lasts 9 weeks total, it's really not long in terms of the amount of races we have. These races go by so fast, and it's only we're over halfway through the season. I wanted to take a moment as the drivers do go out on track. We're seeing already Tristan Zamora leading the pack here. I wanted to just have a quick synopsis of how the season has gone so far. Very tumultuous first half of the season, I'm not gonna lie. We saw Amos Movo returning to the front row, taking pole position in the first race of the season at Silverstone, with Matt Higgs overtaking him for that P1 spot on the first lap in the first corner of the racetrack, and taking that dub on the first week at Silverstone. Coda, infamous Coda, was one of the harder races to commentate, of course. You know, we had that one server outage, which is the reason why we have the different standings as opposed to the other divisions in SRA. We do have the 2 drop races, but, you know, we're still all racing the same tracks. We obviously had Zandvoort last week. We had Valencia in week 3. These past races have given us a lot to talk about, Donovan, and the championship is as close as ever. So, honestly, I think, you know, had Doug not missed last week, he probably could have been a shoo-in for the title. Not a shoo-in exactly, but we know how fast he is. And yeah, him being back in D2 is definitely something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's obviously it's going to be pretty tricky to you know, even with 2 drop races to be able to do anything with 4 races to go. But yeah, he's definitely going to be one to look out for, especially on this track.
Yeah, another thing to look out for is that we have back-to-back weeks where the quality conditions are going to be a little bit varying. The silver drivers here are starting, of course, on a fast track. We have Tristan Zamora leading off everybody. We see a couple of drivers going out late, kind of trying to get the best qualifying conditions as possible, but Tristan Zamora wasting no time, already heading towards Murray's corner, starting his flying lap. Let's see how he approaches Hell Corner here.
I was gonna say, how's the Lambo here? I've never driven it here. I feel like that would be kind of a tricky car.
Well, it's certainly not the fastest on the straights. As we know, the Lamborghini obviously has got some insane brakes. It's got really good, you know, mechanical grip, really strong downforce, but it's not the best on the straights. Obviously, you could put the wing a little bit lower so that you have that straight line speed, which I imagine Tristan Zamora definitely consider doing this week. In qualifying, however, if you can get a solid time in Sector 2, which is primarily the mountain section, you're going to be looking at a pretty strong time.
Yeah, the mountain section is definitely important in qualifying. And in the race, you know, it's a little bit easier because there's no passing that really happens there unless something terrible happens. So in the but yeah, in qualifying, you know, it's a lot more beneficial to have, you know, a higher downforce setup and, you know, get in, you know, a really good time on the mountain, you know, to try to, especially if you're in the Lambo and you need to make up any, you know, lower speed on the straights.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I just wanted to, you know, take note that these cameras are awesome. Just showing the sheer speed that these drivers are sending through the corners. I mean, even with the V10 and the Lambo, it just sounds amazing. Yeah,
and this is a really picturesque track too. I'm biased. I love
the dawn in the morning. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, but I'm super biased. I love, you know, tight, twisty, dangerous tracks, and this is definitely one of those.
What is your favorite track on the game, Donovan? What would you rather race 8 seasons? Actually, I know that answer. I don't. You know what? I had a small, you know, lapse of judgment, and I remembered who I was talking to.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, is this a joke?
Yeah,
I mean, this is my favorite. This is my second favorite track.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Donovan is a Nordschleife Stan. So,
yep.
So is Philip Mueller. Yeah. So yeah, we're probably gonna be seeing him towards the front. Ethan Marvin already putting it down a 201.2. So pretty strong bank lap. He's got looks like the slipstream of his silver rival Dick Burn Jr. right in front of him. So that Lexus is going to be hauling booty on the straights for sure.
That almost matches his PB in practice, and we're still on a fast track.
Yeah, the track is only going to be improving from here on out. So
yeah, and it definitely makes a big difference in qualifying. You know, not necessarily so much in Sector 1 and Sector 2, but definitely in Sector 3. You really, at least in my experience in the Lexus, this is a track, you know, where every lap, you know, when you're on a improving track like this, every lap you notice it, and it's, you know, kind of fun because if you keep it out of mistakes, you get to watch, you know, the delta, you know, fall, or your time fall, you know, every lap.
Sparks flying there from the Porsche 992 ahead of Ethan Marvin there. Heading into Skyline. Obviously going to be following another car. It's going to be difficult, but Ethan Marvin says, I don't care about the car in front of me. I'm going to keep climbing my delta as he goes through the dipper. He's going to have a very nice slipstream, but unfortunately, I feel like the Lexus is going to catch up to Big Zipper and Junior on the back straight here. You know, the Porsche not known for its great straight line speed. Lexus obviously the opposite. So, I mean, we can hop on boards here, see the slipstream that he's going to get. So he's currently even on his delta, and that delta is going to keep on climbing and climbing as we go further down the straight. Obviously within the 6/10, and there it goes. It's already climbing up, already 200, 300s, 400s, approaching half a tenth, and he does lift, so he does realize that he's going to catch him by the end of the straight. Going to reset his lap, but he was up quite a significant amount heading through sector 1 and 2.
For sure. I think that was wise though, because I mean that lap was only going to be a very marginal improvement, so it's good to just back off, you know, abandon that one and give the next one a go.
Sean Williams seeming to have a good hell corner here, and it's kind of counterintuitive statement, isn't it? You know, a good hell corner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, that corner can really make or break your sector 1 and the rest of your lap realistically. So Sean Williams currently up a tenth and a half, following Riley Greer up the mountain. Yeah, the 296 is a car that I do want to mention. Obviously it's not the quickest up the hill. It's got a really hard time getting up to power when gravity's working against it. Sean Williams getting very close to the wall on entry of McPhillamy Park here. But yeah, Sean Williams in the Ferrari. We know Paulie Hartman, we know Riley Greer, his teammate Amos Movo, all in the 296 this week. And that car has got some insane top end, especially when gravity's working with it. We're going to see some pretty high speeds heading into Chase Corner later on this evening.
Yeah, I remember the last time I raced here was before the Ford had the restrictor, and it was pretty much even with the Ford almost. I mean, the Ford was a little bit faster on the top end, but not much. It was only like one kph, you know, faster on the top end. The Lexus was still the fastest, but yeah, the Ferrari is no joke around here. It's a good car around here.
Absolutely. I think in race trim it's even better than in quali trim. So
I agree. Yeah,
we're watching Sean Williams here approaching turn 23 here. We're gonna obviously a lot of corners here, but you know, the lap does go by pretty quickly. A lot of it is straight lines. So Sean Williams coming across the line about 7/10 improvement, jumps up to P3, which, I mean, Ethan Marvin's time, I think just like last week where his time was absolutely insane, and we're seeing the deltas for Ethan Marvin here approaching Chase Corner. He's up half a second on his time.
Yeah,
this man's absolutely flying.
Yeah, this is if you could keep it together through the chase in the last turn, Murray's corner, if I recall correctly.
That's correct.
Yeah, he loses 1/10 through the chase, but he seems to be gaining that back in the braking for Murray's corner.
Oh, big improvement. He's the first driver in the 2 minutes, and he pulls over. He says that's enough for me.
Yeah, feeling confident with that. I don't know if he was also maybe out of fuel, but yeah, that's a great time though. You know, irregardless. I mean, that's only like irregardless. Did I just say irregardless? I think that's regardless.
Maybe.
But anyway, yeah, that's only like 3/10.
Oh, Riley hits the wall there. Oh my goodness.
That is so tempting. You know, I have done that same mistake a number of times where you're just really trying to open it up into Skyline. You know, that is I'm assuming in the Ferrari that could be done no braking, right?
I imagine so. Maybe a little application of brakes just to get the car settled, as the nose does dip pretty severely into Skyline and down to Dipper. But Riley, despite hitting the wall there, is still up more than half a second on his time, which is going to improve him past P4 at least. So let's see if he can keep this tidy here. Approaching the braking here of Chase Corner, the Ferrari obviously having very strong brakes. Get on the power early here, get on the curb. You know that's a good line when you got the power and the car going all the way to the apex out there. Gets a 2/10 improvement through that corner alone. See if he spots the braking marker. Taps the grass a little bit, but is able to get the car pointed in the direction he wants to. It's going to be an 8.5 improvement straight to P2 on the front row provisionally for the silver drivers, but nowhere close to Ethan Marvin's time. But Riley's definitely going to be happy with that.
Oh yeah, that was good, and I didn't see, but he might have crossed the line before 10:30. He didn't.
I think he just lost some time on exit, so he's like, I'm gonna call it there.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, we still got a couple drivers finishing up, and we got Max Diggs on a huge improvement as well.
Unfortunately, he is invalid, it seems. So.
Oh, is he?
I believe Race Control is saying that his time is just red. Unless I'm wrong, and he's going to improve right here. He does. So improves 2 positions from P11 to P9 ahead of Raf Gavin Ponza Rigatoni. Courteously bringing up the rear in P12 at the moment. 3 seconds back from Ethan Marvin's time. Yeah, Ethan Marvin with absolute bonkers lap. We saw a couple silver drivers this season, namely Paulie Hartman with insane banker laps, obviously being promoted from silver to gold after, I think it was round 2. So yeah, I mean, we're a little bit too late for promotions this season, but Ethan Marvin really showing that he's here to compete for that silver championship.
Absolutely. This is such a photogenic track. These
just enjoying
the camera angles are awesome. I know, yeah. I'm just loving seeing the Rexy, you know, going through.
No more Rexy for you. Back to Sean Williams, who's actually on an improvement here, which would shoot him past Kevin Nichols if he's able to get this lap done. So let's see how he approaches Chase Corner here. It's going to be tricky, like I said, with this braking. You want to get as far to the right as possible, quickly over to the left, get the power down, touch the curbing on the entry and on the apex and on exit here. And he is up a little bit, but loses some time on exit, so it's not going to be as much of an improvement as Sean would have liked, but it's definitely better than his previous qualifying outings this season, so he's going to be happy with that.
Oh, good one on the last turn. He gained a lot, so definitely, you know, fix that turn. It's always a bummer to make it through the mountain and lose it, you know, on the chase or the last turn. You know, they're deceptively difficult. You know, they don't look that hard, but it's definitely easy to lose some time on them.
Absolutely. Flipping through some camera angles here, we see Doug Mitchell being yellow flagged through Forest Elbow there, but a lot of these drivers already queuing up. Obviously, Matt Higgs and his teammate right ahead of him, Brian Anderson, last week's race winner, right? Yes. No, Jack Krause. Jack Krause won last week.
No, we had Jack Krause. Yeah.
There's so many fast Lambos in this division.
I know, yeah. Well, quite a few Lambos too in general. It's kind of funny that we see so many Lambos and no Fords. But Anderson, came P2, Jack Krause. They were in a league of their own. They finished almost 30 seconds ahead of P3.
At least 25 seconds, I know that's for sure.
Yeah, somewhere around there. But incredible race from those two. So yeah, looking forward to see what they can do here in the Lambo. Very different track. Very different conditions as well, because we had the mixed conditions. But yeah,
another driver that we're seeing here, I believe for the first time this season, is Wilder Vargas, currently ahead of Amos Mova on track, heading into Chase Corner. You can see on the mini-map there in the right-hand side of your screen. Wilder Vargas, another driver who's, was projected to be fighting for that D2 championship, but had a lot of issues at the start of the season in terms of, technical difficulties, right? So, these things happen. I know I had my internet issue last night, which was definitely left a lot to be desired, but we see Brian Anderson really pushing it through Forest Elbow there. But another thing to notice is that track has gone off to him. So even with the lack of silver drivers this evening, with only 12, actually 16 silver drivers, not 16, sorry, 13 silver drivers this week, with Jacob Hart being a quality band driver, I believe. The track still went off to him. So it just goes to show you that it wasn't that far off. We saw Ethan Marvin post a pretty competitive time, so I wonder how far up that time is going to hold him up.
I mean, that was a pretty quick lap, just going by the practice laps. That was around 3/10 off of the top practice lap that was set by Wilder Vargas. And so, yeah, I think that's actually going to be a relatively competitive time. We see Matt Higgs and Sereno going up to P4 on the banker lap, which
Sereno Boonstra.
Good. Yeah,
Sereno.
I think that's no. Sereno. Is that?
Oh, Sam Sereno. Ah, I see.
Yeah, Sam Sereno.
Yeah, you said. I thought you meant Serena Williams for a second. I
Selena.
was like, wrong sport.
Oh no! Oh yeah. Well, that's an old meme with Selena too.
Serena Boonstrom.
Yes, yeah. But
Indeed.
she likes this track as well. Another Nords stan. I feel like a lot of the people who really love Nords do like this track as well. Speaking of, as Jason Allen goes P4, Philip Mueller, which I think he's going to be one to look out for. He really does love this track, and he's pretty good at it too. So with his banker lap, he goes straight up to P2.
Yeah, and Nissan is obviously not an easy car to drive, so as long as you get the braking right, get the exits right, you know, it's a bit of a boat in the corners. We see Amos Mova immediately following suit with Philip Mueller into that P3 position, right ahead of his teammate Riley Greer, so there's going to be some friendly competition going on there, but I'm sure, you know, those two guys, they're you know, they're pretty tight, so, yeah, I imagine there's going to be no love lost between them, even if they're starting next to each other on track.
For sure.
Yeah,
a lot of green on the board. A lot of drivers. Yeah. A lot of drivers improving here.
Yeah, a lot. I mean, the track is improving as well. So Selena Booster jumping to P2. Did I just say Serena or Selena? I don't even know. And with Philip Mueller up pretty much what his gap to Ethan Marvin is. He does lose a little bit on the braking past the dipper into chase corner. Sam Sereno jumping to P2. So yeah, these times are improving for sure. Ethan Marvin boasting the purple sector 1 and 2. Actually, Sereno tied Ethan Marvin for the best sector 2. Paulie Hartman, the closest challenger to Ethan Marvin's pole position time at the moment, only 88 thousandths behind. So that Ferrari really showing its pace so far.
Yeah, it's always fun to see such different cars, you know, right next to each other. However, they definitely are both very fast on the straight. Those are going to be. I actually don't know how fast the Nissan here is on the straight. I imagine it's pretty quick. Yeah, that is pole, provisionally. Yeah, great lap there from Philip, and he's already a 10th up on turn 1-ish. Thereabout. He gained it in the braking, lost it on the exit. Yeah, he's looking pretty comfortable, at least in qualifying trim in that Nissan there.
Amos Movo, he might dethrone Philip Mueller if he gets a good exit out of Murray's, and it's going to be so close as Amos is only 40 thousandths behind. And that battle for the front row is getting tighter and tighter as the time goes nearer and nearer to 0:00 as we have 2.5 minutes to go. A lot of these drivers cross the line just in time to get that extra lap after this one. So Philip Mueller still on an improvement. Amos Movo after turn 1 also improving ever so slightly, but as he approaches turn 2, this could be a real time gainer here. His sector 1 is still a little bit slower than Ethan Marvin, so there is still some time to gain. CEO flag, that's 585. Jack Krause returning to garage after, I think it was a mistaken skyline if I remember my track map correctly, but Amos Movo here dead even on his time. Philip Mueller not improving enough to get his time a little bit better. But one person who's improving is Paulie Hartman. He's 2.5 tenths up after chase corner. Yep, down and take it away last corner.
Yeah, he lost a little bit through the chase corner. He was 3 whole tenths down the Conrad straight. Through the last corner, he gains some of it back and goes to pole by 2,000.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, it is close. He's gonna have time for one more lap. So yeah, that seemed like a pretty good one though.
Yeah, another good one that's happening right now is Amos Mova. Well, currently up 3.5 tenths, 4 tenths coming out of Force L, but does lose a little bit on exit there. But it's going to steady out a little bit. He does get an okay exit. You see Wilder Vargas currently right ahead of him. He's not exactly where he wants to be. Currently sitting P15. Vargas is in the 319.296. It's a lot of numbers I just said there. But yeah, Amos Mova climbing his delta, still approaching chase corner. Philip Mueller also improving his delta. Paulie Hartman as well improving their delta. So yeah, these times are really starting to come down as the track gets more and more optimum. But Amos Mova and Wilder Vargas may have the best track conditions possible as they approach the last corner here. They're going to cross the line just in time. Amos Mova on it, a huge improvement, going to boast a P1 time if he gets this corner right, and he does. He goes to the top of the 2-minute .675. Yes, I just said 6.7 if you're that young like I am. You're welcome. But yeah, goes to the top immediately with a 2-minute .675. Paulie Hartman and Philip Mueller seemingly inseparable on the P2 and P3. But yeah, those two are still improving. Amos Movo 10th.5 up after this turn 1, so he's not done yet.
Yeah, and he's close to getting a little bit of a toe from Wilder Vargas here too, which maybe could come into play on the Conrad Straight. That could definitely be helpful. He's pretty much even with his time here, so I don't know, and he's actually lost out a little bit coming up the mountain, so I don't know if this one's going to be an improvement, but Philippinus Mueller is on a improvement. He lost about a 10th through Forest Elbow, so it was less than an improvement than it was looking like it was going to be. Paulie Hartman crosses the line and does improve his. Well, he does improve his time. No, he doesn't improve his time.
No, he does not.
Yeah, same provision. P2 for now. Philip Mueller is almost even with his delta, but he does not need to gain much to gain another position. He's only 2 thousandths behind Paulie Hartman. So if he gets this corner, he was looking like he was going to have it. It was just the last turn. Oh no. Yeah, so just barely losing out on P2 there. Got Wilder Vargas, our last driver, who is up on his time by about a 10th. Coming up to the last turn, he loses it in the chase, unfortunately.
Still got one corner to go. Maybe some improvement. Oh, it's gonna be exactly even on his delta once again. But yeah, what a qualifying session. I mean, D2 never fails to disappoint, really. So, you know, super electric stuff. Your top three are separated by less than a 10th of a second. It's going to be Amos Movo on pole position once again, but joined by his championship rival Paulie Hartman and Philip Mueller not too far behind. But ladies and gentlemen, before we go into the race, the very deadly race that may be Mount Panorama this evening, we have a short message from our sponsors.
A huge thank you to our SRA sponsors and title sponsors for supporting us here at SRA, as well as support from Documise, a modern business solution for product management. Go to documise.com to learn more today. And support from Retro Saga, a North American-based gaming company that provides accessories for your favourite classic systems, including Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, and much more. Enhance your retro gaming experience today at retrosaga.ca. And a big thank you to our affiliates, Track Racer. Experience redefined gaming with Track Racer's high-quality sim rigs and accessories. Use code SRATE at checkout to support us. Armamentario, a toolbox for ACC that will enhance your chance to win. Enjoy a fully customizable and enhanced HUD to change the way you experience ACC. AT 3D Sim Shop. Upgrade your sim racing experience today with premium 3D printed accessories featuring precision crafted magnetic shifters, sleek cable management solutions, versatile stream deck mounts, and immersive dashboard displays. Their innovative designs enhance performance and style, elevate every lap with top-tier quality and craftsmanship at at3d.net. Go Setups, premium esports setups for everybody. Use our affiliate link on our Discord and take your drive to the next level. Castle and Cauldron, a home-based crafting business specialising in handmade Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts and Fairy World collectibles. Magic wands, potions, mini dioramas, wall decor, costumery, cosplay, and much more. Castle and Cauldron is where crafting meets the magical. Visit facebook.com/Castle Cauldron. And from KP Concepts, your source for custom automotive renderings, graphic design, and printing. We spend countless hours making you look all good for the spectacle. Check out kpconcepts.com for more.
Oh yeah, yeah, we're back. Look at that. Oh, okay, anyway. Amos Movo, once again, I don't know if you heard me or not, leading from pole position for the third time this season. Paulie Hartman in P2, championship contender, with Amos Mova, Philip Mueller in P3 in the Nissan. The one Nissan out of the top 4 of Ferraris. Juan Caro with his best qualifying position this season in P4. Ethan Marvin with a very strong quality performance in P5. Keep in mind, that was done on a fast track, so props to him. Jason Allen in P6 ahead of his teammate Mike Gino for the second time this season. Not as closely matched as they usually were in the first half of the season. Any thoughts on that, Donovan? We got my teammate sucks with you know, bit of a
he's starting
position.
He's starting to eke more of a gap. You know, they were just glued to each other for so long, but now I think this is the second race in a row where there's some drivers between them.
Yep. After Jason Allen, we have Ethan Marvin's in P5, Jason Allen P6, Brian Anderson in P7. Super consistent this season. Let's see if he can keep up that good form. Sam Serino with his first top 10 in qualifying in P8. Wilder Vargas in P9, not where he would have been, but a nice return for the Colombian driver qualifying in the top 10. Kyle Barber in P10, Selena Boonstra in P11, Taylor Johnston, Sam Serino's teammate in P12, Doug Mitchell with his return to D2. The back-to-back is in P13, Mike Gino in P14, Riley Greer with a very strong qualifying in P15. Right behind him is Mason Moffat in P16, Higgs in P17. The leading MIGS driver this week. We have Dick Zipburn Jr. in P18, Kevin Nichols in P19, Sean Williams in P20, Rowdy Burns P21. We have Jack Cross, last week's winner, in P22. Not a strong qualifying here, so let's see if he can make up some positions during the race. But we also got Pat Cockcroft, last week's silver winner, in P23, Tristan Zamora in P24. We got Artem in P25, Harold McDonald in P26, having such a strong start to the season. Let's see if he can continue that form. Ponzo Rigatoni in P27, Max Diggs, the other MIGS driver, in P28, Raph Cab in P29, going through Forest Elbow here. Jess Osborne P30. Let's see if his livery loaded. It did not. Oh my god, I literally synced in between the sponsors. That is so sad. Gonna have to see what's going on again before the season ends. Of course, Curtis Lee in P31, Thomas Olhausen and Jacob Hart starting from the pits. So I wonder what happened there. I guess they were serving penalties, but I don't know if Thomas Olhausen had a penalty or to serve or not. But yeah, it's gonna be definitely an exhilarating race. A few less drivers this week, as numbers start to dissipate. We're heading towards the tail end of the season, but Mount Panorama typically never disappoints. At least these race starts don't. So let's talk about race strategy from lap 1. Amos Mova obviously starting from pole. I think he's going to want to get to the clean side of the track as soon as possible heading to turn 1. You don't want to give Paulie that extra room.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely one that the opening lap into turn 1 can be one of the better opportunities to do something if you're on the inside, but not often does it work perfectly. Obviously, lap 1 is a dangerous one here with the mountain, so hoping all these drivers could stay clean, as did a D1 yesterday. But yeah, we're about to go green here.
About to go green. Philip Mueller having a pretty good starting box. Ethan Marvin really far back. Amos Mova side by side with Paulie Harman. He's going to keep that inside, of course, but Paulie Harman having a decent start here. He's going to have that outside, that faster line. Amos Mova holding the P1 position for now, but Paulie Harman having a better exit. Amos Mova taking not the most common line in terms of defense, but Paulie Harman, I believe, is going to make the pass here for P1. Having that inside is just so key for turn 2. Heading into Quarry's Bend here, that inside is going to have way more grip, but Amos Movo keen to hold that P1 from Paulie, and he does. Paulie does not have the inside as much as he thought he did, but Amos Movo leading the drivers away on the start, and we're starting to get single file heading into the cutting here. Let's see if any of these drivers traverse this corner safely. We're going to see a little bit of side-by-side action from behind. Let's go back, see if we can get a little bit more action, trying to get to race control. And let's see, Ethan Marvin. Okay, no yellow flag so far. We're good.
Everybody's staying, pointing the right direction in single file. I mean, that is clean stuff from these guys going up the mountain. It's not totally out of the woods yet. We still have to go down the mountain, which is also dangerous. But
absolutely,
yeah, clean stuff for these drivers on this opening lap.
Can't say the same for D1. I think there was an incident heading into the cutting, obviously turn 4 on this racetrack, but D2 being the class of the field today, showing that it's possible to be clean on lap 1 at Mount Panorama thus far, at least. Knock on wood.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amos Movo and Paulie Hartman and Philip Mueller already pulling a gap to P3. Juan Caro almost a second behind P3 of Philip Enos Mueller, but Amos Movo having the dream start that he would have wanted, already leading the race after lap 1.
Yeah, and I mean, for D1, that was it. I mean, if I recall correctly, the top three
what happened here?
were the qualifying position. Oh,
Paulie had a mistake.
Something happened to Paulie.
Yeah, he had a mistake. He got overtaken by Philip Mueller. I guess we could go back and see what happened, but Paulie now has to defend from Juan Caro in P4 now, so he's got a bit of a compromised run, and this slipstream is going to start pretty rapidly. Obviously, we have the DRS chain. Look at all those cars going through Hell Corner. We see Doug Mitchell there, the Joker Lexus. We see the cars coming through the mountain straight. The Ferrari gaining on that Nissan as it gets closer to Quarry Bend. So far, so good, though. And we can see this vehicle makes frequent and sudden stops is definitely what's going to be happening as we go up the hill, but only after the cutting here, as it's pretty much flat out from there. Philip Mueller having a little bit of moment under braking.
Yeah.
And Paulie Hartman is able to close up quite massively, but that's not going to really do much as we go up the hill. Not really many opportunities to overtake you. We see a car already in the pits. I believe that's car 551 of Rowdy Burns. Wonder what happened there, but Paulie Hartman keeping very close, and Amos Movo already checked out.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking at the back of that GTR, and the back end is all over the place. I'm wondering if he's running a lower wing setup. I don't know what, I've never driven the Nissan here. I don't know if that's a common thing to do, or maybe like a mid-wing setup. But yeah, it looks really lively for Philip there. Kind of all slidey going up the mountain, especially. So that's definitely something to know. I know in my experience, the Nissan is really tough to wear down. I don't know with how much Paulie gained on him in the slipstream, obviously. I'm not so sure that was a low setup. Yeah. Compromising the exit quite a bit. He's going to stay. He's kind of got a middle of the road defense there. Going to the last turn, a little bit of side-by-side action behind, checking up those drivers with that defense. And now Paulie goes immediately from attacking to having to worry about Juan Caro and the Ferrari behind.
Yeah, the Ferrari obviously having the slipstream on the other Ferrari. We're going to see some pretty high speeds here. As with low wing, you can really easily run this Ferrari up the hill, down the hill. It's not going to have too much fuss. Of course, the suspension is a little bit fickle in this car, but if you're able to keep that under control, it's definitely rapid on this track.
Yeah,
Movo checked out, though. 2 seconds already after lap 2. Oh, Jason Allen and Juan Caro have a massive incident. What has happened there? And there's a car in the middle at the cutting, and Jason Allen has to park up. Stop. Oh my God, he almost hit Doug. Oh my goodness, we gotta look back and see what happened there. What has happened? Oh my God, there was more accident in the back there. What is happening?
It did not come lap 1. It didn't come lap 2, but then
lucky number 3, baby.
Something happened. Yeah.
Oh, and Jason Allen just loses it and hits Juan Caro. No. Oh, no. And he has to wait.
He's just stuck.
And we're in the ground.
Yeah. Wow. So, yeah. Things changed a little bit. A lot can happen in this track. Mistakes are punished heavily, and when incidents happen, they're rarely small here. We got...
Oh my God, did you see that styrofoam in the back just flying? Oh my goodness, Doug Mitchell having the slipstream. Oh, Sam Serino hits him! And that's the car backwards after chase corner. Doug Mitchell taking the grass route. And Sam Serino, after having such a strong qualifying, has gone in the grass. There's another car. There's Juan Caro again. Whoa, what is going on? There's so many cars on the grass.
My God.
Image
of the Ferrari of Juan Caro there, that was Oh, wow. It started from back there. It looked like there was almost a little bit of contact
Oh,
there,
Jason's car has
tapping.
damage. Scooby-Doo has seen better days. I can only imagine what's going to go on here. Juan Caro, just passenger, has to move
he
on
goes
to the
onto the-
grass to avoid Jason. Oh, no, there's a car still there.
Man.
Oh, my goodness. It's all kicked off here, hasn't it?
It really has. Yeah. The mountain is not friendly today. That happens a lot of times in these races. I think that's one of the things I like about it is it's an exciting feature of the race always. It's almost like one of your opponents is the mountain itself. And yeah, it's definitely proving to be that way for these D2 drivers. It was so clean for 2 laps.
Yeah, it's an intended feature of this track that drivers do struggle. It's not exactly accidental, so we might be seeing a lot more of it. But you know, with this much action already going on, it's hard to say that it's not gonna it's gonna keep going.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these drivers are going to be hoping things clean up. A lot of times when you're farther down, you're hoping the opposite. You're hoping for more chaos and just easy getting around them. But yeah, it's a bummer for Sam Sereno here. He had a very solid qualifying, but that incident with Doug definitely put him back quite far.
Yeah, he does get a pretty okay exit out of Forest Elbow there. Let's see if you can close up on that V10 Audi of Matt Artem, our resident SRA Audi driver. Matt Artem taking the inside line for the outside line actually for Chase corner, going to be the inside for this corner. Let's see if these drivers can traverse it safely side by side, and they do, but Matt Artem a little bit far in the brakes, but Sam Sereno pits him going into the braking zone, and I believe Matt Artem just simply misjudged how far alongside Sam Sereno was, and both drivers end in calamitous action there at Chase corner. It's only 9 minutes in, and Sam Sereno has been involved in a number of incidents. Unfortunately for him, his night is getting from bad to worse.
Yeah, 2 of very similar incidents, 2 laps in a row, which, yeah, that's got to be heartbreaking there for Sam Sereno. It looks like Artem comes into the pits. We did have a couple other drivers look like opt for a very early pit stop, which is going to make things a little bit interesting towards the end of the race. You know, this is a track where I don't necessarily feel like tire deg is that big, or quite as big of an issue as it is on other tracks, which means undercut is not quite as strong as it can be on other tracks. But a lot of times, drivers will opt for that early stop to just avoid other cars and avoid, damage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Mount Panorama, like you said, not known for the most tire degradation. It's pretty even across all the tires. It's, in this short sprint race format where we only have 60 minutes to get the cars around the track, it's going to be about 30, 31 laps if the drivers are quick. Amos Mobile obviously proving to be one of those quick drivers this evening with a 2.5 second gap, but not holding the fastest lap. That belongs to Paulie Hartman with the 2:02.1. But Amos Moa not too far behind in terms of pace. So, Amos Moa would just probably, considering keeping the car on track at the moment. But Kyle Barber started, I believe, in P10 and is up 5 positions. So it really goes to show that if you can keep your nose clean, as Kyle Barber has done here, he's going to be in for a good result. In the meantime, I did see quite comically that Jason Allen is currently no longer playing a set of Corsa Competizione. He's gone on to Battlefield 6. So hey, if you want to go play Battlefield with Jason, he's all yours, but he's currently not in this race. So and Jason fans out there, I sincerely apologize. Your driver has quit the race.
He's gone on to Battlefield. I saw he was working, or I heard he was working on DMRs or something like that. But anyway, yeah, that is tough to see. But at least he found something to decompress a little bit after that disappointing and early end to the race.
All eyes rest on Mike Gino, now the only remaining driver of My Teammate Sucks. Are we gonna call that the entire season?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Is that even the team name? I'm not 100% sure.
I think it is on the website, yeah.
It is My Teammate Sucks.
Yeah. I
Okay,
believe
well,
so on the website.
Gino of My Teammate
Yes,
Sucks,
it is.
the only driver of My Teammate Sucks who's currently on track for My Teammate Sucks. Paulie Hartman is not done with Philip Miller here.
Yeah, not at all. You know, that gap to Amos has definitely stabilized a bit. I don't know if Amos is just kind of chilling a bit and trying to stay mistake free. But yeah, this gap is really closing for Paulie. He's going to go side by side into the chase, have that inside line. But Philip is able to hold it around the outside, which is definitely a good line. But right here, I don't know if Paulie's going to have enough to dive down the inside. He does dive down the inside. Philip does, or at least peeks in there. Philip gives him a bit of space, but they single file back out into turn 1 here. Great driving between those two through those turns.
You know, in the meantime, we did see Jack Cross have an accident at Forest Elbow, that little edge of the track after the downhill where there was the yellow flag of 585. So last week's winner not having the best of times here in the Lamborghini this evening at Mount Panorama. Obviously, you know, Australia, you know, known for, you know, some off-roading, right? We know Danny Rick has got his farm. I imagine he does a little bit of off-roading on his tractors, but not what you want to do here at in Mount Panorama at Bathurst. So not ideal for Jack Cross.
Yeah, unfortunately. They did make, you know, the Lamborghini LM002, you know, that a bit of an off-road Lamborghini, but fortunately that's not the same thing as this Huracan GT3 Evo.
No, it's not. And yeah, I mean, Paulie Hartman keeping very close here, heading into the S's and into the Dipper. It's a very tricky corner to get right, to be honest. You want to turn in earlier than you think you do. And if you don't, you kind of just like lose the rears. They can slide out from under you. You can end up in the wall like I did back there in season 13 on lap 1, which is not ideal. It was my third D1 race, and it was not the best of showings, but I imagine Amos Movo seeing all this fighting behind. And yeah, Paulie Hartman is going to be right on the rear wing of Philip Mueller. I believe he's a bit closer this lap, so this is going to be a continuous fight. Philip Mueller, again, choosing the outside line, heading into the chase corner. Another yellow flag. That's going to be another car RTGing, but Paulie Hartman does get the move done on the inside, so Philip Mueller giving it up for the time being. But I imagine he's going to have a nice exit, maybe getting a nice nose on the inside for this corner, heading into Murray's, but not gonna put the nose up the inside there for Paulie Hartman. So Paulie does get P2 once again in this race. So it is a Ferrari 1-2. Philip back into P3.
Yeah,
and Anderson's right behind him.
Yeah. Well, and that's you know, Paulie is wanting to, you know, keep this as close as, you know, for his championship hopes. So any points, you know, counts for that. And yeah, great move there from Paulie. He was definitely a little bit closer than the last lap, and that makes all the difference. Yeah, so it looks like we start to see a little bit more normal pitting times. We have Dick Zipperberm Jr., who's the silver leader for the championship, coming to the pits. And speaking of silver, we got our silver race leader battling it out here with Selena Boonstra. Yeah, and he's got a pretty healthy gap right now to P2, you know, for the silver drivers in this race, Riley Greer. But
a detour into the wall for Selena Boonstra there, it seemed like.
Oh, I missed it.
Oh my god, we're going so fast, we're not even noticing what's going on. This is crazy. She does lose a little bit of time to Ethan.
Right at the wrong time.
Yeah, no, she definitely had a nice thwonk with the wall there. If you know what I'm talking about, thwonk is the Mario guy, the big wall. Don't want to get hit by that guy. Yeah, I've been playing a bit of Mario Party here on the side, so I currently brain is on Mario Party mode. So, yeah, Selena having a thwonk with the wall heading into the turn 8. That's going to be the McPhilmy complex. Not what you want to see, especially with how close she was to Ethan Marvin. But yeah, Amos Movo having that 5-second gap over Paulie Hartman. Definitely a sizable gap. Not really any considerations for Paulie in terms of strategy at the moment. Obviously, the undercut's not going to be as strong here. The tire deck is pretty even across the tires. Unless, of course, you do have damage, then the tires will get slowed quickly,
Yes.
and you do get more damage with polyharm and taking a little bit of a gap out of Amos Mo for that lap.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and that battling that Paulie and Philip were doing, two laps going side by side through the chase, that's going to lose a lot of time compared to Amos, who doesn't have to worry about anything and just has to worry about keeping on track. So that's definitely, it's gonna make gaps like that happen.
I think we possibly might have some team owners that would see RevCap going off on the grass there after Hell Corner, but Ponzo Rigatoni and Pat Cockcroft's pretty close together. With the two Rexies, the two elbows combined form into one strong Rexy.
One strong elbow.
Elbows strong together.
Uh,
If you've watched Planet of the Apes, you know what I'm talking about.
and I actually haven't watched.
It's a good
Planet of
movie.
the Apes.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's maybe not your conventional, Oscar-winning movie, but I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Caesar,
Yeah.
Speaking of the Lambo, Matt Higgs only 2/10 behind Riley Greer, our current P2 in silver. Imagine Riley's pretty happy. I don't want to curse him. He does have a little bit of a kiss with the wall heading through Skyline. I was about to say he's had an incident-free race at the moment, and just was about to say that he had a little bit of a tap with the wall. But yeah, super solid results so far for Riley Greer, chasing down Mason Moffat for that P12 position. The Ferrari gonna have the straight line speed here on that McLaren right ahead of him. Let's see how close he can get heading onto the passenger side view of that V6 engine, turboing right behind that McLaren engine. Let's see how close of a gap he can pull. It's not going to be too much that he gains. He might be running a higher wing setup. Oh my god, he gets so close to the brakes and he taps him, and Mason Moffat goes off into the grass. Riley Greer, oh my god, he's continuing the drift, and Riley Greer, oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if Riley was just a little bit too tunnel visioned on the McLaren and just completely missed his braking marker there. But yeah, a little bit of chaos there from Riley, and he's going to drop down quite a few positions. And so is, of course, Mason Moffat, who was our podium finish. He was a third place podium finisher at the last race. So yeah, he's gonna definitely be disappointed with that.
Dare I say commentators curse Donovan? Dare I say?
Yeah, that was a bit commentators cursey.
Unfortunate. Yeah, from one commentator to another, Riley Greer, I apologize, really. I'm sorry. From the bottom of my heart, I apologize.
Well, and his commentating season has been cursed. They've been plagued with so many technical difficulties commentating D3.
Yeah, from what I've heard, yeah, not the best. I see Diego talking about how the chase has been nothing short of dangerous, at least. And yeah, I mean, you're right, dude. It's been pretty treacherous. Selena Boonstra on the back of Ethan Marvin, approaching that very same corner that has had so many incidents in the past 20 minutes. Maybe I should get off of this camera right here. I don't want another incident.
Yeah, that's a dangerous corner to be looking at as commentators. Look at that gap. Selena well within slipstream range, just not able to. I feel like that gap created. I didn't look at widened. I didn't look at the deltas, but the Lexus not in a slip still looks like it'll put a gap on the Porsche well within the slip. So definitely a bit frustrating. A little bit of weaving there from Selena. I don't know if maybe her tire pressures are off or something. I don't know.
Could be a frustration weave, as we were talking about top speed.
Yeah.
Because Selena Boonstra here, again in the slipstream of the Lexus, but in the speed trap at at Chase Corner, the Lexus has got a boastful 4 kph on that Porsche, and that Porsche has had a slipstream for quite a while now. So even with the slipstream, the Lexus just absolutely monsters over the Porsche's top speed. So I would honestly, if I was Selena, I would be thinking about a pit stop at this point in time. maybe getting some clean air, seeing what kind of pace I have. But maybe she's comfortable. Maybe she's just enjoying life in the slipstream, as long as we're not having any incidents heading through McPhillamy Park here, approaching Skyline momentarily. Yeah, I mean, the car's getting a little bit squirrely, following another almost a very scary trip onto the grass. And once you get on the grass, it is likely that your race is just going to end in calamity, as the road there is very bumpy. And in fact, there is no road; it's just grass. It's super bumpy out there. So, yeah, very, very close moment there for Selena Boonstra.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'd definitely think about pitting if I was her. You know, we're getting close to the 37 minutes to go, and it looks like she's got a lot of pace on Ethan Marvin in the mountain. So, as you know, which would kind of make sense in a way that definitely is more of the Porsche's strength, where that is definitely not the Lexus's strength. But yeah, so I guess we'll have to keep an eye on when she would come into the pits.
Oh my God!
Looks like right now.
We're prophets.
Yep.
We are prophets.
Yep.
Yeah, and this last lap, Polly Hartman has taken out a gap from Amos Movo. Amos Movo's last lap was a 2-minute 3.8, and that was about a second and a half slower than Polly Hartman. So I assume it must have had to do with the blue flag. We see Mason Moffitt having to give way to Polly, and Amos Movo currently right behind. It's Matt Artem who's getting those blue flags, and up the hill he's going to lose quite a bit of time.
Yeah. Yeah, that and blue flags is a pretty big deal here. Yeah, like you said, you could lose a ton of time behind a blue flag coming up the mountain, and it's really hard for the blue flag to, give up a position on the mountain, and definitely not typically safe and preferable. So yeah, so it kind of just sucks to be behind and lose some time on your race, but I mean most of the time that's the best option, and wait for one of the straights to give way to the driver behind.
Yeah, not losing too much time this lap. Obviously still losing time following another car. You're not able to spot your braking references as clearly, as he does miss the braking point there for his elbow. He's going to lose a little bit of time, lost about half a second this lap to Polly Hartman, but nothing that's going to really not having the heads rolling around, as Matt Artem still having that blue flag. Amos Movo probably screaming at his VR headset right now, move out of the way. Oh my God, he brakes early.
That is so scary.
That is very cheeky. I'm not gonna lie, that was cheeky.
That is not what you want to see as the driver behind. That's always terrifying when the blue flag driver brakes early and harder than usual, because a lot of times you aren't expecting to go for a move there, but fortunately Amos really paying attention there, and nothing happens. But yeah, that could be dangerous. That could be really sketchy. We got Philip Enos Mueller coming into the pits. A lot of drivers actually coming into the pits. So yeah, that's going to be something to look out for. He's not in undercut range or anything like that, but if Paulie makes a mistake or anything like that, things could definitely happen on these pit stops here. That's also kind of as we kind of saw there, it's a kind of difficult pit entry too. So if you're not super practiced at it, it can be a bit of a difficult pit entry.
I want to keep an eye on Selena here, as she did attempt to undercut Ethan Marvin. We did see him peel into the pit lane, trying to, cover off that fast Porsche. Car number 7 is Selena Boonstra. We do see Ethan Marvin, I believe, is already coming out of the pits. So in a massive gaggle of cars, and that was Philip Mueller, actually, number 39. So where's Ethan Marvin? Is Ethan Marvin in that gaggle of cars? Yep. I wonder. Yeah, he is.
Yep,
so.
He is. He's
he
just
comes up behind Doug. So the undercut did work.
Something. It definitely worked, but I think something. Wait, let me check the.
Yeah, Ethan Marvin had 3 seconds slower pit stop.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, it's easy to make a mistake in the pit entry here. I don't know if that messed him up at all and he had a slower entry, that wouldn't really make, I mean, 3 seconds, that's pretty much a miss your box type of gap there, I feel like.
Absolutely. One driver that's going to have to hit his marks is going to be Amos Movo, because that gap is still coming down from Paul. It's now 2.5 seconds. So Amos Movo, his tire has seen better days for sure. We're heading towards that halfway point of the race where, you know, these tires, it's probably going to be the most optimal window to pit, especially with Philip Mueller already having boxed. So he wasn't too far behind from Paul when he did pit. So Paulie's also got to consider boxing at some point. Taylor Johnston in the pits currently sitting P4 ahead of Mike Gino. Yeah, the majority of the grid already has completed their pit requirement and switched those tires. So those times are going to start to come down. We see Juan Carl holding the purple lap currently with a 201.932. A couple of drivers already in the 201. So we had, of course, Amos and Paulie having that time already in the 201s, but Juan Caro showing that he's got the pace here this week.
Yeah, that's always a bummer to be able to, you know, that one side of the coin, you're happy that you're, you know, the fastest car on track at the moment, but and another, you know, if you know, because he had those unfortunate incidents on lap 3 and 4, or is there? I think they were both on lap 3 actually, but yeah, so yeah, that's always kind of bittersweet.
Yeah, teammates still, even after pitting, are still pretty close together on track. Riley Greer, after picking up some damage, I believe, repaired during his stop. No, he didn't. He just lost a lot of positions.
I don't think he picked up too much damage, to be honest, though. I think it was mostly a just, you know, losing the track position and losing a lot of time on track. So I guess as he doesn't have too much damage, and it should be all front end damage though, which is pretty big on this track because, you know, a lot of straights, or at least 2 big straights, important straights.
Just a couple.
Yeah.
Just a handful. Definitely enough to have an effect on your straight line speed. We did see Riley Greer pretty much appearing pretty close to the back of the rear wing of Ponzo Rigatoni, but not making too many inroads on the Porsche. Of course, the Porsche having the slipstream of his teammate Pat Cockcroft currently in P20, so that's something for sure to consider. But you gotta be nervous. There's a Ferrari right behind you. You know that they're fast on the straights. Does Pat make the team play here and back up a little bit is the real question.
Awfully scary to do when there's a car right behind, you know, doing it so where you don't get also eaten by, you know, a Ferrari is definitely tricky to say the least.
Speaking of Ferraris, one of our leaders is into the pits. That is Paulie Hartman, approaching his box already. Unless he's already boxed. Looks like he did.
He's already boxed, yeah.
So yeah, getting out of the pits.
Philip here.
Oh, and there's Philip Mueller. Obviously his tires are warmed up, so let's see if he can make any inroads. He's gonna have a better exit, a better run to Paulie Hartman, but the gap's nowhere close. Definitely looked deceiving on that TV camera angle. But yeah, these tires are gonna be a little bit warmer, but obviously older, as Philip Mueller did pit a couple laps ago.
Yeah, I think Paulie pit at the right time. I don't know if he very well might have a fire queso in his ear, keeping an eye on.
Oh, he definitely does.
Keeping an eye on things. Yeah, he was probably looking at that gap to Philip and thinking, you know what, this is the last at least safe time to pit. And Amos might be thinking the same thing. He doesn't have a fire queso in his ear, but he does have all his data. He does like his data. So he's definitely going to be looking at that gap to Paulie right now and going one more lap. I have a feeling we're going to see him in the pits next lap because I just can't imagine he'll go more.
Especially with the blue flag of Jacob Hart appearing right in front of him coming out of the pits. So he's already been slowed down enough by a couple of other back markers this race. I imagine he's not too keen on staying behind one more. So usually what's one more to Amos, but you know, this has got to be the lap that he boxes. It's probably a pretty ideal time to pit as well, with you know, obviously half the race already gone. Amos Mova, Wilder Vargas, Jess Osborne, Thomas Olhausen, and Sam Serino, the only 5 drivers remaining that have not pit yet. But yeah, now is the time. Now is the time. And we do have confirmation that Fire Queso is indeed in Polly's here. So as ever, Queso being the strategist to the mastermind that is Paulie Hartman on track. Doug Mitchell inheriting the fastest lap with a 201.770. 2.5 seconds behind Selena Booster. So there was no slipstream at play there. It's just raw pace from the back-to-back himself into Lexus in the car that he enjoys driving the most. Back in his natural habitat, that is D2.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, let's see. I can't imagine Amos won't come in here. But
it's gotta come in. It's gotta come in.
Yeah, he's gotta. You gotta
come in now, Amos. Come on. Bring
his
the
tires
car into
will
the
be
box.
Yeah, they will be 2 laps fresher if he comes in now, which okay.
He does. Okay. Well, this is fake.
Ooh. But
it's a pretty good pit entry. I like it.
That was pretty well optimized there. Looks like Amos was practicing that. Mike Gino will have to get out the magnifying glass to make sure he didn't cross any line, but it looked pretty clean.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you keep, you know, all 4 tires within the track, within the pavement, with the paved surface and not on the grass, it's more than okay. So, but if you do cross those lines, it is not just a warning, but it is a warning 5 penalties. So yeah, we do take these pit infractions pretty seriously over here in SRA. Some, you know, obviously a little bit more lenient than others, you know, but, you know, tracks where, like Valencia, where you have the very difficult pit exit, it's going to matter. But what else matters here is if Amos has a quick stop or not. Paulie Hartman rapidly approaching Murray's corner. See Sam Serino right behind as he does get lapped by Paulie Hartman. P2, provisionally, Paulie Hartman on the main straight, and Amos is currently leaving his box. Let's see where he comes out relative to his P2 competitor, and he is well ahead of Paulie Hartman. So that is going to be easy as pie for that segment of the race for Amos Mova. Now it is 26 minutes, full push to the end, no mistakes, and that is going to be a second win for Amos Mova this season.
Yeah, absolutely. It's looking like our only driver that hasn't pit now, because we do have Thomas Olhausen and Sam Serino in the pits.
Oh my God.
Jess Osborne. Oh wow, what a time to join. Maybe he's feeling like he needs to come
those tire works.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's you know, like I said, you know, this track isn't necessarily the hardest on its tires, but that is definitely a spot where you would feel it. That's for sure. So, yeah, I'm assuming he's going to be coming in this lap as well.
I think Juan Caro got the move done on Dick Zipburn Jr. here of Turbo OBA. Zipburn obviously leaving the Silver Championship, but Ethan Marvin in a very good spot. Doug Mitchell into the top 10 after qualifying, I believe, in P13. So pretty strong result from our returning Z2 driver, currently up 5 spots. Another driver who's up 5 spots is Selena Boonster, which is going to go to 6 spots as, you know, the order becomes restored. Oh, the only driver, Jess Osborne, not to pit yet. So we're starting to see the actual order of the drivers as the pit cycle has pretty much wrapped itself up. A lot of these drivers gaining a lot of spots, obviously from the mistakes of other drivers. We saw that, you know, early peril in Chase Corner. Dixon Burn Jr. getting past Juan Caro there. I don't know what happened. I believe Juan Caro had a bit of a mistake coming down the dipper. So that's going to be, it's going to be one free position, it seems, for Zipburn Jr., making a better case for his silver hopes and dreams as he hopes to continue challenging for the title as we are in the latter half of the season now in D2.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's currently running second in silver, so he's having a solid race. I mean, P13 is definitely not bad. Oh, wait, yeah, Philip. Does something happen to Philip here?
Interesting. I want to see. Oh, yeah, he got overtaken by Brian Anderson going to the chase corner. We just missed it on the replay. Brian Anderson, consistent as ever, back into the podium position in SRA.
wonder if Brian was just able to get, like, if something happened at a Forest Elbow for Philip, because he was definitely pretty well ahead going into that lap, but something must have happened maybe at Forest Elbow, and Brian was able to get side by side.
Yeah, he did lose a lot of time last lap with the 2:03.6, so it was definitely a second slower than Brian Anderson. Paulie Harmon taking back that fastest lap with 2:1.745 from Douglas Mitchell. So yeah, times are coming down. Everyone's, you know, picking up the pace. Time's coming down. Fuel's coming down. Weight's coming down. Tires are pretty fresh. They're pretty optimum. They're pretty raring to go for these hot laps. It's basically what it is. You know, hot lap simulator. Don't crash. Don't die. Don't hit the walls. Everything's gonna be fine, right?
Yeah, I think that's why I like this track for some reason. I mean, I do like hot lapping a lot, but
yeah. Do you, Donovan? You like hot lapping a lot?
Yeah.
I like hot lapping a lot as well.
Yeah. It's in our OBDA blood, I guess. I don't know. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, this track definitely can get a little bit hot lappy, and you know, just following cars, hoping they make a mistake and that you don't make a mistake, and you know, things can go from just hot lapping to absolute chaos very quickly. But yeah, which can make the races both very interesting and not necessarily the most interesting, and it could be within the same race.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, a lot of these races are just hot lapping. Yeah, Diego is saying race is so bad for Jason that he just posted the bot for Suzuka. I actually just reacted to that message just now.
That's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about Suzuka while we're in a bit of a limbo stage here. There's not many battles on track apart from Riley Queer. Ponzo makes a mistake going into Murray's corner. As I was just saying, there's no action, but there was just enough action to catch it on camera. Oh, rocket reflexes for me there. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I wonder if he, I mean, we'll find out, but I wonder if he braked on the grass or something.
Curious.
Or...
Oh, I think he just missed the braking point.
Yeah, he just missed his braking point.
And we're in the wall again. What? Oh
nice,
my god.
ACC is like, what? You think this track is photogenic? What about this angle?
What about this one? What about this one?
Immersion broken.
Anyway, yeah, let's talk about Suzuka, because it's going to be the second of different format of races this season. Obviously, the first being Zandvoort, where we did have that very interesting strategy with the tires where Jack Krause started on the slicks and Brian Anderson did not start on the slicks. Brian Anderson had the edge initially, but then Jack Krause's dry tires got into the window, which were obviously better at the time than the wet tires, and was able to make the pass on Brian Anderson for the lead and just scamper away with it. But yeah, it's going to be another wet race. It's going to be a guaranteed wet race, or rather more guaranteed. We still have that off chance. I believe it's a 3% chance for it to be a dry race, but this is supposed to be the token wet race of the season at Suzuka, so it's going to be definitely a challenge, I think. Donovan, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. It's a tricky track in the wet. It is a track that makes sense in the wet. I feel like it's often a bit rainy, at least whenever I watch races at Suzuka. But yeah, it's a tricky track in the dry, honestly. But yeah, it should be a good challenge for these drivers. It's another really good track. I really like Suzuka.
Do you now? Remember your last Suzuka race a couple of seasons ago?
Yes, I do. And yeah, that should have been a killer race, but yeah, some technical difficulties left me going straight on the second Degner instead of turning.
Do you remember who was P1 that race?
I do. I should have. I don't think I would have gotten P1, but I definitely think a podium was well within the cards there. But yeah, I do remember who got P1.
It was me.
Yeah.
I won that race fair and square. It was also the race of where the famous Jason fidget spinner gif is from. If you know, you know.
Yeah. That's his banner now on his profile in the
I
Discord.
gotta say, it's a pretty neat idea. I'm a fan.
Yeah, but yeah, yeah, definitely, yeah, that was a good race. That was also your only D2 race.
I know.
Yeah. Hey, you have a perfect win record in D2 though.
Yeah, something Jason Allen doesn't have.
Oh.
Oh.
You
you know who else doesn't have that? I bet Diego. Ooh.
Ooh.
Take that,
Diego out here catching strays.
Yeah. It's because he's talking about his own championship races. He said, I sealed the deal for my championship back in season 4. Yeah, back when the dinosaurs were alive.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I'm kidding. All love for Diego. We actually had a pretty nice battle last week during our LMU races on Thursday. You know, I was letting off the throttle, and, you know, oh, we're going side by side here, just
side by side.
Oh my god!
Whoa. Sean Williams. I don't.
Oh. Whoa, Sean Williams. A little bit loosey-goosey there. Had to get to the braking zone of Chase Corner. Loosey-goosey, something that the Aussies would say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, nah.
True.
That was close. Jess Osborne.
That was
Code Brown.
Ridiculously close. That might have been a bit of a brown flag for both of them, but yeah, fortunately they stay out of contact with each other. Sean Williams is going to lose a lot of track time, unfortunately, but yeah, that was crazy.
That was crazy indeed. We do have another battle on track here. The cameras try to catch up with these drivers, but Thomas Olhausen, starting of course from the pit lane, up already into P17, right behind Max Diggs as they approach turn 4. The cutting, heading up the hill and then back down the hill and then back down the hill again through Chase Corner, which has seen so many, you know, mishaps from so many different drivers this evening. And I don't want to count it out yet, but we got 16 minutes to go. There's a couple of gaps on track, but never say never, right? Maybe we might see a little bit more incidents go on there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Thomas Olhausen looking like he's got pretty good pace through this race. I don't know why he started in the pit lane. He did get a qualifying lap in. It wasn't a great lap. In fact, I'm pretty sure he's come close to... He's actually... he's come close to matching his qualifying lap in this race. So, definitely not an ideal qualifying for him, but the race, things have definitely seemed to come alive.
Absolutely. Another driver who's having a resurgency at the moment is Philip Mueller, trying to take back that podium position that was taken from him by Brian Anderson. And right behind him, not currently on the lead lap, but Raf Cab, not Doug Mitchell in P6. Also, Doug Mitchell, look at that, P6. What has happened? I believe he was P8 a couple laps ago. He's moving up the order.
Yeah, we definitely missed something. Yeah, because up to P6, and he's going to be behind Selena Boonstra now, and I feel like this is going to be a little bit easier of a pass than if the roles were reversed. Because once we get to that Conrad straight and the Lexus has a tow from that Porsche, it's this is going to be pretty close to if Doug gets the braking into Forrest's elbow. It looked like Selena was a little bit slidey over Skyline and into the S's, but yeah, it looks like Doug's definitely well within that slip, so he might be able to do something.
I fear
here.
the time has come for Selena's P5 to end.
Yeah, this is, look at that.
Oh my god.
Look at that. She gives him the outs, or the inside for this, but the outside for the chicane, and almost completely clear into the braking, and Doug's able to just sail away.
Yeah, and of course the Lexus not having the best of brakes, especially with the top speed, so he's got to slow down even harder than Selena has to, but it doesn't matter for the back-to-back. He's able to get that move into P5. What a return race for Doug Mitchell.
Yeah, absolutely. This is definitely... I feel like I've seen Doug do this pretty much same thing at this track in that car. So this is just a normal Wednesday night for Doug.
A normal Wednesday night isn't a Wednesday night without Amos Movo almost choking away his lead at the very last minute. He had a bit of a rare invalidation, which can only mean one thing at Mount Panorama, is that you go off at McPhillamy Park or severely collide with the wall at Forest Elba. So either one of those two things happen, and Paulie Hartman has really closed the gap here.
Or the chase.
Amos
There's
Movo.
the chase too.
There is the chase too. There is the chase too.
That part of the track has been relentless this race.
Absolutely, you're definitely not wrong about that.
I think like more often you find more chaos in places like McPhillamy Park and honestly like Skyline. I feel like usually those are two of the more chaos inducing parts of the track. The chase is certainly, I mean, because that's your best passing opportunity by far is into the chase, but and it's definitely inviting for you to just throw it, but it's also a tricky turn to go side by side.
Oh my god.
Oh no. Our silver winner from last week.
See what happened to Pat Cockcroft here as he does approach Quarry Bend here. Approaching the cutting, I did mention this is one of the more difficult corners, especially with, you know, the Porsche rear tires, I imagine, aren't too happy. Does get the braking right for Quarry Bend into the cutting and just loses it on exit into the escape road. And Pat Cockcroft's race has gone from pretty good to instantly to the box.
Oh man.
Amos Movo heading onto the grass, and Paulie Hartman, he's gonna have that slipstream. Amos Movo, choose your line. He's in the middle of the track. Paulie's gonna have to choose somewhere to go, and Paulie Hartman moves over to the left. Is he going to have that grip around the outside? There's not really too many opportunities to pass around the outside, but Paulie Hartman, does he make it happen? They're still side by side. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, they're still side by side. Amazing.
Amos has the outside. Oh, he does make it past. Okay, so, he goes wide into the cutting, and these two drivers have never been so close on track this race, apart from the start of the race, and Paulie Hartman does have the outside heading into turn 7, heading into McPhillamy Park. He does have the inside. Oh my god, Amos gives him the room, and Paulie Hartman up the inside at turn 7. I've never seen him move up there.
Amazing. That was incredibly clean driving from those two. That is not an easy spot to go side by side. I actually learned that with Diego, believe it or not, in my first race ever in SRA, where I killed Diego when I was in Amos's position. But yeah, that was an amazing battle there between those two drivers, keeping it very clean. Amos very respectful, giving him lots of space, almost too respectful.
I have to agree with you there. He did have significant overlap.
Yeah, absolutely. But however, it's better to keep things clean where you could, possibly fight later on than, deal with ending somebody's race. He gets on the grass. Chase strikes again.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Oh no, he's in the wall. Brian Anderson's gonna take P2. Or is he? He is! He's going for the move!
He's gonna drive it down.
Oh, everything has just unfolded for Amos. It went from good to bad to worse. The same as last week. Oh no. Still side by side entering Hell Corner. Amos Movo not keen to give up the spot. There's another yellow flag at Chase Corner, but ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of movement here in the top 3 at the podium positions. Amos Movo, our pole sitter, and was leading for so long this race. Having a couple mistakes in the second stint just cost him so much time to Paulie and now to Brian and Philip Mueller. He does have the inside for the corner. Let's see if it ends in the same way. Amos ceding the position into P3, but now he's going to fall to the clutches of Philip Mueller, who's P4, heading into the cutting here, turn 4. Is he going to have another side-by-side with Philip Mueller? Looks like we're single file for now, but wow, Donovan, how things can just unfold here in Mount Panorama.
Things can change so quickly. Like I said, it's hot lapping, just hot lap after hot lap until something happens, and then it just chaos erupts and it gets a little bit crazy.
Oh no!
Amos, no. I think we saw him get well onto the
No, finish the
grass.
race. No,
there,
Amos,
the bump.
no.
No.
No, 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 no. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness, no.
Oh, man, that is such a bummer, to... Oh, yeah. Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. What a bummer for Amos, and he just... Oh, yeah, he dips out of the server. Wow.
Oh.
Not the way you want to see that end. Oh, man, what a bummer.
I'm lost for words. There's a huge fight here going on. Look at this gaggle of cars here. Taylor Johnson pulls in front of Kyle Barber, and we're entering the most dangerous corner on this track tonight. It's taking so many lives of many different drivers, but Ethan Marvin on the outside, getting squeezed by Taylor Johnson. Right behind is Kyle Barber. Mike Gino's able to pick up the scraps from Taylor Johnson squeezing of Ethan Marvin. Ethan Marvin loses not one, not two, but possibly 3 positions as Mike Gino goes up the inside of Murray's corner. And these two drivers are side by side, but Taylor Johnson getting the best of it, heading into P7. Oh my goodness, it is not dead yet. We have 7.5 minutes to go, and wow.
I can't believe everybody made it through alive there through the chase with how many lives the chase has taken. That was incredible battling between everybody. Props to them for keeping it clean.
Indeed. Couple more battles back here. We got Thomas Olhausen still trying to chase down Max Diggs, and he does get a pretty solid exit from Hell Corner. He's going to be right on the back of Max Diggs here. Of course, that Nissan having a pretty strong grunt out there, these slow corners. Does he get the traction down? Yes. Does he get the move down? Goes to the inside, but is going to think better. Is going to wait a couple more laps, but, you know, time is running out here for Thomas Olhausen.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to be pretty happy with that, you know, position. He's well within the top half, and, you know, starting from the pit lane, that is, I mean, that's pretty good. But yeah, still, he's definitely got some pace in him today. So, yeah, really making up for that qualifying mishap.
Mishap after mishap is what this race has seemed to be. Obviously, we have Paulie Hartman now leading the race. Gotta say, I mean, it's pretty well worth it. Ethan Marvin into the pits. What happened here?
Pits. That's interesting.
I wonder if he just disconnected. Or, oh wow, he was... Oh, no. Oh, that car is damaged. Ah. Wow, what a shame. All these fast drivers today at qualifying. We saw Ethan Marvin having a great performance in qualifying, just pulls over right before Forrest Elba and returns to garage before the end of the race. Man. I gotta say, guys, just finish the race, even if it's in the pits. You got so much little time to go. Just finish the race.
Yep.
Of course, the race still isn't over between these two.
All, you know, and with how many drivers we have, every position does count for points, so... and a lot of times, especially in the Silver Championship, you know, championships are won by sometimes, you know, low single-digit points. I've had very many situations myself, you know, championships end in under 5-point, you know, differences. So definitely staying and finishing every race, especially for the silver drivers, is very important.
Yeah, we talked about how fast Ethan Marvin was this week and even last week, but you know, just not able to finish the race and get those points that he needs because Dick Zipper and Jr. again leading the silver drivers in the current P10 position. Riley Greer in P11 after having that accident with Mason Moffitt and losing a bunch of time, having a lot of drivers pass him. He's back into P11, but I imagine, you know, of course, if it's reported, it's going to be a pretty big time loss for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
4 minutes to go, Donovan. Quick recap of the race. A lot of death at Chase Corner. Taylor Johnson goes provided for a cell bone. Kyle picks up the position, and Mike Gino's going to be keen to get that position off of Taylor Johnson. He's obviously going to be under speed.
Yeah, that, and it looks like this will be well before the braking into the chase.
I don't know. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a pass, unless
That would be quite crazy. But I mean, we've seen crazy.
Yeah, we have seen crazy. Mike Gino gets past Taylor Johnston.
That gap Pauly has created there is huge. I mean, this is big for Pauly. He's had quite a few podiums this season, but we haven't seen a win from Pauly yet. Obviously, we were close with that Coda race. However, yeah, this is definitely big for Pauly. This will be his first win, if I recall correctly.
Yep.
In SRA. So, yeah, big race for Pauly here.
Okay, so
huge
if you're
gap.
listening,
He's just
do us a
doing
favor.
that. He's just, yeah.
Tell Pauly to slow down. He's got a gap.
We don't want to see anything crazy at the chase. We really don't.
Well, not just the chase. We saw a couple of drivers. Oh my God! Am I seeing another yellow flag at the chase?
Yeah, we are seeing a yellow flag at the chase.
Casey says he won't listen. Of course he won't.
A true racing driver.
Mason Moffitt obviously trying to recover his losses after getting bumped by Riley Greer at this corner.
Oh,
Matt
wow.
Arnhem taking flight through
Just
the curb.
coming into contact on the
I wonder if there was contact
right
there. It's not the best angle.
It looked like there was. Yeah, it looked like there was to me, but we do have Amos Movo. I just noticed back on track.
Is he?
So he's looking to finish the race. So
Okay. You know what? I respect it. Trying to get those points as much as he can. Obviously a couple laps down, but points are points, right? Especially with the 2 drop races,
Absolutely.
It's going to matter a lot. One driver that's currently trying to get back some more points for himself is Philip Mueller. He's going to have that draft once again. Lambo not as quick on the streets as a McLaren. We saw earlier with Max Dix, but Brian Anderson electing to choose the easier line to take through Quarry. Is he going to make the pass around the outside? Likely not. There's no grip out there, and Philip knows that. Another lap behind, but his time run out.
it is so hard to do anything around the outside. That's why I was really impressed with that battle between Pauly and Amos. Pauly, able to hang it around the outside. We have a yellow.
Does Amos pull over?
Yeah, that is Amos.
Nice camera angle, ACC. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, ACC. Don't know what happened with Amos there, but
yeah, I mean, we're nearing the end of the race. I do want to get on board with our possible maiden winner in SRA after so long, not just in the spotlight of just in general this season on the podiums. Pauly Hartman, a staple in the community, a staple of Champion Motorsports, and now a staple of Division 2, making his title contention very serious after getting so many podiums this season. He might come across the line. He's gonna cross the line in time to finish the race before the flag falls, before the timer runs out, or after the timer runs out. Pauly Hartman in car 48 holding the fastest lap of the race, not getting that pole position, not quite the Grand Slam, but it's gonna be a Grand Slam of a finish for Pauly Hartman. He crosses the line as a main